psychologists are out there justifying the possibility of grievance, and then asking the consciousness, after you've given him justification for it, to attempt to remove his own justification. It's absurd. You're asking him to repair what you've already justified in his own mind. Now what are you going to do? As an unhealed teacher, you're going to share that justification of the grievance. Why don't you just say to him, it's impossible to be unjustly treated? You know why? He don't want to hear that. You going to hear me or not? He doesn't want to hear it's impossible to be unjustly treated. Why? It's impossible to be unjustly treated. If he heard that, he couldn't stay in the world, could he? It's impossible to be unjustly treated. You say, well, I can treat myself unjustly. That's absurd. You're not going to treat yourself unjustly. It's the same idea as you're causing your own pain. Okay? If you're trying to rid of, say you're working with addicts, okay, he's inflicting pain on himself. That's inherent in this teaching. And you know that before you go to the meeting, a guy cuts you off on the highway, and I always tell the story because it's such a good one. It's very basic. Cuts you off, gives you the finger, and you got all the resentment in you now for what he did to you. All right? You don't realize how true this really is. He's very happily whistling, and the more he's happy and whistling, the more you get pissed about it. But the fact of the matter is, at that moment, you are inflicting pain on yourself, and all of the subsequent moments that you hold on to that resentment, you continue to literally inflict pain on yourself for an incident that's already passed. If you don't forgive it, you'll inflict pain on yourself forever. Guy has to get over getting rejected at the junior prom. You never get over it. Do you like that? Ooh, you hate it. Huh? He didn't kiss you goodnight and you went in and you had a big piece of asparagus growing right out of it. Come on. And you go back and you relive it and you relive it and you relive it. And you said, if only I'd have gone to the movies room, I would have brushed it away. And things would have been different. There's your problem. You really think that had that not occurred, things would have been different. Now this is where I've got to get to you. All right. You believe because of that specific incident, all of the things then that occurred have caused you to be where you are, and it's not so. There's absolutely nothing specific about your past associate frame of reference. Quite literally, one thing is no more valuable than another. That's literally true. If you're going to hold on to the fact that things could have been different, you can never come into the now. How the hell could you? You're trying to change the past, and if the past is gone, you can't change it. Okay? You see? If your reality is going to be and you do this is where you guys live. Your reality is based on your mother dying of breast cancer 4.5 years ago. And you're hoping that you don't. These are just facts. Okay? But you have it constructed in your mind, so what happens? You get it. Why? It's the power of your mind. So you're nothing but a bundle of associate resentment, you call them, or needs to identify yourself. Okay. The new mind that's emerging in you now will not be concerned about the past. This is the whole teachings of the Course, to relinquish, don't bring into the present the past, except the certainty, hear this, it'll really save you some time, that everything that possibly ever could have happened to him has brought him to this moment. This is the key to salvation. He doesn't attempt to sort out in time the various aspects that have brought him here. Why? He's going to be here anyway. This is Course in Miracles now. Some of you are really hearing this. If he's going to be here anyway, what the hell difference does it make how he got here? When they have come, they have come. When you hear this, you will have heard it. It's your determination to associate with your previous forms of reference that literally keep you from hearing it. Because by bringing the past association into this, you project into the future your previous associations and literally cover the holy instant. Does everybody hear this? How the hell are you going to work a miracle if you and I are so busy in our own memories of each other? The memories are not true. Can you hear this? This association that's going on here has absolutely no reality at all. None, period, zero, none. Yet you're addressing it, so somewhere contained in this association must be salvation. But obviously it can't be in our mutual identities with each other. Where's it going to be? In our determination to seek an answer outside of our mutual identity. You can't do it any other way, and that's what forgiveness is. I want you to understand this. When I speak this way, I'm speaking mechanism. I'm speaking literally of the manner in which you reach atonement. You, individually. Isn't it okay that no one could ever mistreat you? No, it's not okay. No. Because mistreatment is justification for your existence. Yeah, what about her? See, who's the incestor? You are. Would you want me to toughen this up for you, dummy? You're the cause of it. See, he's determined somehow to reject his incestuous attitude. Should I teach it to you this way? If anybody commits incest, it's you. That's why you're guilty. You're guilty of all the thoughts that you attempt to disassociate yourself from and give it to somebody else. Cut it out. What are you going to do? It's exactly the same association. You're raping your own daughter. How do you want it? Nothing is occurring except it's in your own association with yourself. Fortunately, what? It's not real. If that guy really raped his daughter, you got a bad problem. Problem's not his, it's yours. Wow. What just happened there? He laid the blame on another guy. This is the pure Course in Miracles. I appreciate you doing that, incidentally. Why, it's pure Course. You want the sentence? You're blaming your brother for the things that you think you did. It's fact. Now, here's the problem. If you want to do it this way, can you be found not guilty of incest with your daughter? Yes, I find you not guilty. If it occurred, you're guilty forever. Because you are sinful in time. Because time is what sin is. You listen to me. It's your determination to hold on to the things that you identify as being valuable to you and rejecting the other things, but they don't go out of your mind. Do you hear me? Do you really hear what I'm telling you? If you're the cause of this, that has to be true. Now, what did he do? He just denied he was the cause of it. No. The reason he can't accept that he's the cause of it is his reality is based on not being the cause of it. You ought to be able to hear me. I'm speaking to you very plainly. That way he keeps his identity within what you would call a moral, I suppose. He places himself under the laws of man and equates the good and the bad in relationship to things that he would never do, but somebody else has done. That's crazy. What he's saying is there are separate minds outside of me that would do that, but I would never do that. Tough teaching, huh? Too bad. Give me another solution. Anybody? Give me another solution to this. If minds are separate, that is sinful. You would then be capable of committing a sinful act. If it is only in your mind, it's repairable because it couldn't be real except by your association with yourself. I'm teaching the course. Will you hang a guy who says this to you? Sure. You can't get away with saying if you lust in your heart, it's the same as the act. It's Jesus' teaching. In fact, it's what he teaches. You see? Oh, I would never do that. Really? Really? No, I would never do that. Okay. Don't. What would you do? Well, I suppose if I had to defend myself, at some point I would be willing to kill somebody else. Right? When is murder okay? I don't want to get into taboos of incest. I'll give you a talk on that. The necessity for the genetic association to broaden in patterns of consciousness without turning back in on itself. That's a cultural distinction that goes on in the creative purpose of perceptual mind, and it sets up laws that will best bring about the survival of the separation. Remember that, not the survival to God. Okay. Fit sociological associations do not mate within the inner families. I'll give you the answer to the taboo. And obviously they seek outside, that then becomes a taboo. But neither one of them makes it real or not real because it's not so. This is just an association of your determination to hold on to your limited thought forms in the identification of yourself as a species association, man. Homo sapien. What is man? What is it that doesn't know itself? If the condition, which is reasonable, okay, of wholeness, of beingness, is knowing who you are. Do you see? If you are under no laws but God's, which is the law of whole will, why are you concerned about your perceptual associations except to protect yourself from that will? Okay. Yet you cannot not be whole and perfect. If you believe that God said, "Thou shalt not kill," you're going to be here a long time. Can you hear me when I do that? I mean, what would God know of killing? No, these are man's laws for man. These are reciprocal laws of social relationships. Are they valuable? They're completely necessary. Okay. To bring about the association of the consciousness with himself. He'll then continue to search within his split. He doesn't need a law except that his mind is split. You know, rhinoceros doesn't need a law to reach up and eat off a tree. Rhinoceros is God. Why? A rhinoceros knows what it is. It doesn't suffer from a condition you call rhinocerosism. You think it does, though. Can you hear me when I do? You've given it a separate identity. A rhinoceros doesn't want to be a buffalo. It's perfect in its own mind. I don't know how to teach it. Can anybody, do you hear this? Beingness is beingness. I mean, if there's a difference between a hippopotamus and God, it's only because you say so. God isn't saying so, and certainly the hippo isn't. He's being a hippo. I'm asking you to be who you really are, but you don't want to be. You would rather somehow make up all sorts of names for yourself to keep yourself separate from your own identity. But you cannot not be the only living Son of God because you are God creating, okay?